Hey, how you doing? So let's try something larger on the new lathe. This is a big chunk of wood. I don't remember where I got this from. Probably from a friend's wood pile. Cut it into a bowl blankish sort of shape. It's got some cracks. It might not be the right thing to use. We'll see how it goes. I've got my safety shield, my mask. I've got a turning smock on that I use a blue lab coat. Does fine to keep my clothes sort of clean. So while it's running, I won't be talking because with the face shield on, the UVEX one, it's hard to hear. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'm going to start it off nice and slow. You'll be able to see the RPMs in the upper left-hand corner on the blue display, and hopefully things will go well. And I'll be able to speed it up. Not bad, 340. I balanced the piece between centers before I started because that feels safest to me. And so even though my lathe weighs 186 pounds and is bolted down to the bench, it doesn't make the lathe jump around. So I should be able to come up to 400 is probably enough for me. I get chicken 400 or 500 at something this size at the beginning. So let's see how it goes. Okay, knocked off the high parts. I should be able to get the tool rest a little closer now, which of course always feels better. Spin it by hand always to make sure that you don't hit the tool rest with the piece. Move the tool rest up again. Spin it, make sure we're clear. Come up the RPMs. I'm coming up on 600. There's right at 600. Now I can sort of inspect the piece and see what's going on. So are the cracks as terrible as I think they are? That one's pretty creepy. Almost round though. Yeah, so this might just be tester. Six 633 RPM. So hopefully you can tell this thing it's bloody silent. It's really quiet. The machine itself when I'm turning. Terrible, horrible looking piece for the moment. Big old cracks. This chunk is probably going to come off if I get too much more. But let's smooth this out so you can at least see what happens when I'm cutting big, heavy, and hard, middly, really dry, something or other. I would almost guess walnut. I'd probably guess walnut. Let's see. $6.66. Ooh. Okay, so that was being pretty aggressive, right? You can see that's almost, I don't know, I wonder how much that is. So I'm taking every bit of, well, 1/4 of an inch, a little more than 1/4 of an inch cut. Pretty hard dry wood, big long piece hanging way out there. So I reset it and go again. Spin a little harder, because a little harder always makes everything easier for the machine and for you. Goes a little better at 700 RPM. A little better at 700 RPM. Of course, not a surprise. Turn it a little faster, goes a little better. I'm getting chicken though of going any deeper on this particular piece. Just turning it into a mess, right? It's an awful lot of just crumbly, sawdusty stuff coming off, but it's cutting. So, not sure this is worth the demonstration, as a matter of fact. But there you are. Okay, we've skipped ahead a little bit just to be safer. Leveled off the bottom, made a recess for the chuck in a little bit. Let's see about cutting the bottom of this, and hopefully the blank doesn't fly apart. Spinning 723 RPM, essentially silent, really quiet. Okay, let's see how it goes. Well, it's pretty. Any which way you look at it, I'm just afraid that big chunk's going to come off. So let's cut that off first. Now that I've got a little angle on, I can get in here and feel a little safer. The first part is always tough. I don't like that first part. I'm getting the corner first to cut off and then push around. This feels safer now. $7.50. Well, it's pretty. It's just, ooh. $800 RPM. Stuff gets hot, doesn't it? Burns your hand. better? A little bit. Not much. Any piece gonna jump off and kill me? It doesn't look like it. Which always makes me scared, right? So here's a question. Here's a great question. You know, a lot of commercial salad bowls, it's just a flat, goes up one sort of smoothish curve and a little lip. Does this need a little whoop-de-doo there, a little OG at the bottom, or just leave it more like this? I think this one gets to be left more like this. I don't know. That's a good question. There's the design thing, right? Do you keep it this way, or do you make the bottom thinner, knowing that if you put a bunch of stuff in, it's going to be useless? This blank is big enough, this blank is thick enough that it probably won't just be for pretties. It's going to be for actual use. So it's, I don't know, a full 3 inches thick. If I can keep the top intact when I get going on the top side, I think it'll look nice just that way. Sort of big at the bottom too. So maybe that'll all help it keep together better too. Anyhow, let's keep going. $8.43. Always feels nice to do that in one big long pass, doesn't it? One big long pass. Whoop. That always feels good to do. Okay, I'm going to turn the tool rest around to cut this top edge. $8.45. So design issue again, do I do in one more cut and leave a rim on it, or do I leave this rim being a little chunky? This top edge has a pretty good chunk taken out of it. In a couple of places it's probably ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch down in. I think I don't want that flying into me, so I think I'm going to cut more. It's going to end up being a ½ inch, well, it's going to be an inch diameter smaller bowl. But it'll be safer in the long run. Oh well. Continue. $8.45. Eeks, that gets hot. Still a big chunk here. Big chunk here. $1,031. a big chunk. I'd have to go in another inch. It's splitting out right here. I wonder if I can turn that into a design something. Okay. Sure is a pretty piece of wood though. Just turning it all into shavings. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so it's going to be a weird bowl thing with a recurve top, something or other. Because that's safer for what you can, well, you'll be able to see in a minute after I get this turned around. I might make this less just flat. Right now this is pretty much just flat now. Used to curve nice, but the edge is gone, the top edge is gone. Again, beautiful piece of wood. Got to sharpen. 1068. Freshly sharpened bowl gouge. I think I need to come one more pass this way, then I can turn it around. Hey! Now the bulge is in the middle instead of being up high. It really should be wide and the bulge up high. Okay, one more pass. Well, that's pretty good. The surface isn't as shiny with the scraper. It's really smooth. It's got a little curve, goes bump. So the bump's low. So it needs a little more. That's better. Now that's a better shape. You'll see in a little bit. It's got a little whoop to here, and a curve, and then a little whoop to here. So that's better. It'll need a little bit of touching up or a little sanding. I'll touch it up now because I'm here. Okay. So this piece is spun all the way around. You can see the lovely mess it is on the top. So let's cut this out and hope I don't get hurt. Right? Not always the thing you say. All that was at 700 RPM. Banging on it pretty hard. Didn't budge, didn't move, did nothing. Big old cracks. Big old cracks. I kind of like the edge, this lip though. So, yeah, keep going. See what happens. Fine. A little bit too low, maybe. Yeah. Swing. What do you think? That was cutting pretty aggressively. Let's get in there a little closer, maybe. Thousand RPM. Okay, so on a 1/2 inch bowl gouge, I'm taking that much of a cut, which is, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch. 1000 RPM cutting into this nasty little old piece of walnut. Didn't stall the lathe, did nothing, just cuts. Does just fine. I'm going to inspect it for cracks again, make sure I don't get hurt. It's got a lot of cracks. Rustic, as they say. Rustic. It's pretty. Keep going. Keep it going. How's it looking? Give me the light. Give me the light first. You think? Doing okay? Yeah. I like that edge. I like the way that looks. That means I got a hollow underneath it. Oh boy, that'll be fun. Including this whole piece here, but I think we'll be good. Okay, You'll get to see this later. I need to be in front of the camera. It's a pain in the butt. Talk to you soon. So here's the finished piece. It's sanded up through 400, both on and off the lathe, and just got boiled linseed oil on it. I liked that it was rustic looking. As you can see up here in the corner, I used a jam chuck at the end to finish off the bottom, but there's the finished piece. I'm satisfied with it. It's cracked, but the crack didn't come through. The pith is there. It's of a limb at least. It's rustic. I've got my brand on the bottom, and we'll talk about my brand on another video, and I'm satisfied with it. I think it's pretty. The undercut lip, I made the lip part very, very thin. The rest of the bowl is quite a bit thicker because I was a little chicken, but I'm pretty satisfied with the way that came out. Anyhow, the next video will be about the way I sharpen my tools with a very highly modified Harbor Freight 1x30 belt sander. I look forward to seeing you then. Good luck.